everybody, Jasmine here from First Diversity Staffing, and today I'm going to share with you how to master job interviews. We're going to go over a few secrets that I've learned over the years, and we're going to help you get that job. The first thing you want to do before the interview even happens is gather your information. This happens as soon as you get that phone call or that email that says, hey, we want to set up an interview for you. You want to start by doing a little research on the company. When you learn the company's history, it shows that you're not only interested, but you're dedicated and you put in effort. Learn how that company got where they are, where they started, and you might even find where they're going to end up going. This is important for a couple different reasons. Like I said earlier, it's good because it makes it look like you put in more effort, but it also can tell you if that's a company that you even want to work for. Next, you want to do as much research as you can to find any important names. Now, this goes for any type of job or any type of company. If you know the name of the CEO or the name of an office manager of the department that you want to work for, when you drop those names in your interview, they're going to be taken away. They're not going to expect it at all, and it's going to make you look awesome. Also, it's going to help you know who you want to get to or who you want to reach for. It'll help you in the long run, and it'll help you during this interview. Lastly, you want to go over the company values. Now, hopefully, depending on the company, this is something that you can find online, like on their website or on their social media. But this is also something that you can have as a discussion while you're setting up your interview. This is important because you want to know if this is a company that you actually want to work for. If you're interviewing somewhere, you want to make sure that that's a job that you even want. That's a job that you're going to want to put your time and heart into. When you learn the company's values, you're able to see what they stand for. A lot of times, companies will have kind of like a more generic mission, but other times you'll find some that are really specific and they might really matter to you. So it's important to get information on the company values. A lot of times people forget that they have a say in the job that they work for. It might be a little difficult for the time being, but if you're going to interview for a job, you're going to put forth the effort for the application and the interview process and getting all this information and going there every day. You want to make sure that you're working for a company that has the same values that you want. You want to make sure that you're at a company that actually cares about its employees. And depending on what that company does, that it actually cares about its consumers. Company values are usually found online, on their websites, or you can ask via email with the HR recruiter or whoever you contact. This is also an important question that you might want to ask during the interview process. Later in this video, we're going to discuss the questions, the scary questions that happen during interviews, and we'll get to that later. Next, a very crucial part to interviews is dressing the part. This is a part of the interview process that's a little bit rocky. It depends on where you are a lot of times, or it depends on what you're taught. So I want to share with you some of the things that I've learned. You want to keep it simple. When it comes to your dress, you don't have to have a 5-piece suit. You don't have to have all the jewelry and all the makeup. You don't have to have all the newest flashy accessories or anything like that. You want to keep it simple. A lot of times people forget that the clothes aren't used to mask you. They're used to present you. A simple button-up and tie with some slacks and a belt for men. A simple button-up with a blazer and maybe a skirt or pants set for women. It doesn't have to be complicated at all. Actually, you want to keep your outfit more simple because the less that you have to fidget around in during your interview process, the better that you'll look. No matter what you wear, you want to make sure that is cleaned and ironed. Those are the small things that a lot of interviewers and recruiters will put in the back of their mind that really aren't done intentionally, but it changes their perception of you. You want to make sure that your clothes are free of wrinkles or free of any stains because it's an unfair disadvantage to you. We all get that life happens. Sometimes we're in a rush. Sometimes spills happen. But employers can see the difference between a shirt that has been just tossed on and grabbed and picked up off the floor, and a shirt that just so happened to get a jelly stain on it from breakfast. They can tell the difference between a shirt that hasn't been worn in years and was found in a basement and a shirt that got wrinkled because of your seatbelt. We're not saying that you have to go in perfectly pressed and primp, but we're just saying that if you have control over it, you want to make sure that you're in control of it. The fact that the way that you dress can be a determining factor in your interview can be seen as superficial, but that doesn't change the fact that it is. The next thing to remember is that your fit is more important than any style, any name brand, or any price. No one cares that you have a really expensive shirt from a top-line brand if it doesn't fit you right. If it's too small or if it's too big, you're going to be judged on that. There are so many items that I have that came from thrifting, that came from retail stores like Gabriel Brothers, and I have items that came from pretty expensive stores like Von Maur. No one can tell the difference. You want to make sure that what you have fits you right, and don't worry about the style, the name brand, or how much it costs. Employers can't tell, and for the most part, they don't care either. Lastly, you want to remember to dress for the respect that you want and not the job that you want. Now, bear with me. A lot of times we're told that we're supposed to dress the part, right? I told you to dress the part. But sometimes it kind of gets lost in translation. When people say just for the job you want, they typically mean the white-collar jobs, the corporate jobs, the jobs in the offices. That same rule doesn't apply to jobs that are more manual labor. If you're going for a job at a construction site, it's not right to show up with jeans and a flannel and a construction hat. You want to make sure that you're dressed standard interview style. I've had a friend that insisted on going to interviews in sweatpants and pullover shirts because he was working at a cold factory environment. I understand the mindset that goes with it, but I'm here to tell you why that doesn't work. An employer at the interview process sees one thing. They see this one person, and that's your one chance to show the best first impression that you have. They know what you will look like in the uniform. They know what you will look like on the workplace. Right now, they want to see that you put your best foot forward and put on your most effort into dressing for this interview. Trust me. Okay, so now you have all the information you need. You have your clothes all ready. Now it's time to prepare for the actual interview. Now, this step happens after you've gotten the date and the time set for your interview, so you can actually start putting energy towards and making sure that you're going to be set for it. The first thing you want to do is get your work kit ready. Remember what we talked about in the resume episodes? You want to make sure that you have that work kit nearby. Some jobs might want to hire you on the spot, and you might need that information. That information like your birth certificate or your ID or a proof of address. So as long as you have it nearby, whether it's in your car or in your trunk for safekeeping or maybe just in your work bag, so that way if you need it, you have it prepared for the interview. Hey everybody, this video is to share how to assemble your work kit. This is my favorite and trusty folder. It's a little messy, but that's okay. Let's get started. First and foremost, you want to include your birth certificate. You want your original copy or form of it. It's great to have on hand and it will be necessary in the hiring process. Next, put both your social security info and copy of your updated ID. These are also necessary and they can take a long time to replace when you're in a crunch. They can also be expensive. Next, be sure to include your basic bank info. These are the small details like routing and account number, or for safety, you can include your banker's contact info so they can pull the details you need for things like direct deposit when you get hired. Lastly, two very important but different documents. Starting with your job run sheet, including this information will help you recall facts about your old jobs for applications or for your new employer's questions. Include your previous leaders' names and experiences at your old job. Now, this differs from your resume. You want to always have a couple clean copies of your resume on hand in your work kit. It's great to have for interviews or for personal reference. Always make sure the work kit is updated with your newest resume. And you guys, that's it. Easy, right? Most important thing with your work kit is to keep it safe. Lock it away and only assemble it when you're job hunting. You'll always be prepared. Good luck, guys. My most crucial tip of this entire episode is to prepare the night before. You don't want to prepare it too early because that just opens too many doors to mistakes and mishaps. You don't want to prepare the day of because then you're going to be late. And you don't want to be late for an interview. Like we said earlier, this is your first impression. This is your first shot at showing that you are going to be a valuable asset to this company. You can't be late. The best way to not be late is to prep the night before. And when I say prep, I mean prep everything. Your clothes, fold them, hang them, iron them, put them to the side. Your shoes, wipe them down, lace them up, make sure they're somewhere to the side that you can pop them on ready to go. Your phone, wallet, keys, anything that you would need to get out of the door, you need to locate and separate. When you prepare the night before, you're going to make your morning so much easier. If you're going to eat breakfast, prepare that. Get the milk closer to the refrigerator door. Get the cereal down. Make sure a bowl and spoon are clean. Anything that you're going to need, you want to make sure it's done the night before. With that, you want to plan your route. So what you can do if you didn't talk to anyone on the phone, if you only talk to someone via message or email, is call up the company after you have your resume date and ask for the details. You want to double check your date and time. You want to ask for any particular information. Make sure you know which location you're supposed to go to. Make sure you know where you're supposed to park. Do you need a pass? Make sure you know what door you're supposed to go through. What hallway are you supposed to go up? All of these are the small things that can get in the way of you being late. Those are the things that you can be there 10 minutes early and it might take you 11 to actually get to the actual interview room. So you want to call them up and ask for any details. This is also going to be good for you because it's going to show how excited you are. It's going to show how intentional you are and how much effort you're putting into organizing for this day. So you want to plan everything in your route. Make sure you have gas in your car the night before. If you're going to take the bus, make sure you have your bus money. Make sure you know which bus you're going to take. Actually look online or at the route to see if there's any delays. You don't want anything getting in your way. The last thing you want to do at the start of your new career is start with excuses. So prepare the night before and make sure you're all set. One thing that you can do to help get you up once you've prepared everything is double your alarm. And I don't mean putting 2 alarms on your phone. If you're going to do that, if you're going to put 2 alarms on your phone, make them 2 different sounds at 2 different times. I suggest that you get 2 different physical alarms, whether it's a phone and a manual alarm or someone else's phone, something that will hold you accountable. Something else you can do that's really cool that has helped me a few times in a crunch is I've requested a house call, a wake-up call. Get a friend or family member who's excited for you and who's going to keep you hopeful and hold you accountable to call you in the morning. Now, you want to make sure you also have your own alarm because if they don't or if they forget, it's not their fault. You have to hold yourself accountable. But it can help you out to make sure you get up early and on time and that you get to your interview on time. Because that's the most important part, showing up. Next, we're going to go over some interview etiquette. Your interview behavior is key. The whole interview is key, but this is a big key. So, we're going to start with speaking up. You literally want to make sure you're speaking loud enough to hear. That shows confidence, it shows assurance, it shows that you know what you're talking about, and it shows that you're not afraid of anything, because you're not. You also want to speak to everyone. Speak to the receptionist, speak to the janitor, speak to the people in the hall, a good hello, goodbye. Those are the small things that recruiters do. Like, here's what they do. Recruiters will go around and ask other people in the office or in the workplace what they thought of you. If you spoke to everyone, people's perception of you are going to be much higher than if you didn't. You also want to speak up and ask questions. If you have to go to the bathroom, if you're not sure what you're supposed to do, if you want to double check that you have the right things, make sure you ask about them before it's too late. So speak up. Next, you want to attend to your posture. You want to kind of have subtle reminders of your posture. So something that I tried doing that kind of works for me during the workday is I have posture time checks. So every couple hours I have set aside to check my posture. Make sure you're standing straight, not too stiff. Make sure, you're keeping your head high. You're making strong, smooth movements. Shake that hand. Don't be like a lazy fish. You want to make sure that your posture is good because it adds to that confidence. It adds to that overall perception of you, and it's going to help you out a lot more with their final decision. And that's before you even answer any questions.